At first, the recent leak about Palpatine and the Rise of Skywalker made zero sense to me, and I refused to believe Palpatine would do that. But a more recent leak actually explains what's going on, and that I do think is reasonable and is Palpatine.
You're fulfilling your destiny.
So warning, I will be talking about rumors and leaks in this video, so if you're trying to stay spoiler-free, please don't watch. But also, they are spoilers and leaks, which means they're not 100% confirmed to be true, but these are from really credible sources, so they're more on the likely end. So just in case, don't watch if you don't want spoilers for The Rise of Skywalker. So if you're up on the recent leaks, you know that there are some really cool things that are going to happen in episode 9, and there are things that are not so great. I don't mind the leak that Rey is going to be Palpatine's granddaughter, and that's revealed in episode 9. Honestly, who wouldn't want to have sex with Palpatine? And Rey does have a tendency towards the dark side, so it kind of makes sense. So that part, I actually don't mind. Rey is actually the granddaughter of Palpatine, whatever. The recent leaks also stated that Palpatine was alive in the unknown region, so after Vader killed him, but not really, but thought he killed him, Palpatine ended up surviving and going to the unknown regions where he is very old. Which, honestly, if Maul can be alive after being cut in half, I have no problem with Palpatine still being alive. His will, hatred, and wanting to rule the galaxy would be enough for that dude to keep hanging on even in his hundreds. So since the time of Return of the Jedi, after Vader turned on him, he went to the unknown regions and he started building up his own fleet, which is a bunch of Star Destroyers that have mini Death Star tech on them. That's also pretty reasonable. Also, Palpatine equipping a bunch of Star Destroyers with mini Death Star tech that can destroy planets is Palpatine all the way. This is the part of the leak that I absolutely did not like. I actually wrote a rant video on it, but then never released it, and now I have this next part, so I was like, ooh, I can't do that anymore. But anyways, it stated that Palpatine actually wanted to pass on his new empire to Kylo and Rey to rule together, which is just absolute fucking bullshit. Palpatine would never, ever build up a bunch of shit to just hand it off to someone else to then rule. No, that's not the Senate. So here's what that leak said. Kylo reveals to Rey that Palpatine had a child, and that child had Rey. Her parents then sold her and left her on Jakku to keep her away from Palpatine. They figured a nowhere planet would keep her far away from his clutches. They then used the money they got from selling her to buy drinks. And yes, her parents are nobodies to Kylo because Palpatine was someone, but his no-name, do-nothing great kid was not. Rey finds her way to the wreckage of the Death Star 2 and finds Palpatine. Palpatine confirms Kylo told the truth. Palpatine was shocked when he wasn't able to hold on to Vader and he went back to the light. Palpatine believes this was because of the family bond between Anakin and Luke that was too powerful. So now Palpatine wants that same bond with Rey. So yeah, he wants as strong of a bond with her as Anakin Vader had with Luke. And he also wants to pass on everything he's been building in the unknown regions to Kylo and Rey, and also give them guidance to have their new empire together. Bullshit. So just reading those leaks, it made me believe that either they got it wrong, it was maybe a fake leak, or parts of it were fake, or maybe it had something to do with possession. Maybe Palpatine wanted to possess Rey and felt their bond would make it easier for him to stay in her body. Of course, then I guess he'd be doing Kylo. I guess he could get rid of Kylo. He'd also be inside his granddaughter's body, which is just a little too incesty for me. Oh my god, what if instead he wanted to possess Kylo's body and then join up with Rey? Ew. I mean, we don't know the freaky things the Senate is into. Maybe Palpy likes to fuck with his own genetics. I don't know. So yeah, him simply wanting to pass on everything and die, I don't believe. But then there was a more recent leak than the recent leaks that actually explained everything from making Star Wars, and now I'm completely on board. So this leak stated that Palpatine was confused when he looked into Vader's eyes and saw love for Luke there. Palpatine only ever viewed love as a weakness and something to be exploited. Palpatine losing control over Vader due to his love for Luke shook Palpatine to his core. So he thought a family bond would help him, the bond with his granddaughter Rey. In the first 20 minutes of the film, Kylo supposedly meets Palpatine, and Palpy tells Kylo, "Hey, I want you and Rey to be Emperor and Empress of my new empire. But first, Kylo, I need you to turn Rey to the dark side and bring her to me." The leak says this is because Palpatine believes Kylo and Rey are the positive and negative of the Force, and with them together, he can use the Force to rejuvenate himself. Then he can rule his new empire alone. See? That makes total sense. Palpatine lying and saying to Rey, "Hey, I realized with Vader that family's all that matters. I know you want a family. We can be a family. I'm willing to give you guys everything. You can rule together. I know you two fucking love each other. And here we go. We're just one big happy family, and I'm so happy to pass on everything to you." And then boom, he siphons energy from both of them and rejuvenates himself. Palpatine 101. And it is canon that Sith are able to siphon energy from others to keep living on. Palpatine knew how to do this, or was learning how to do it with his master, and they were trying to unlock all the secrets of the dark side and be able to live for 10,000 years. Now, would Kylo fall for this? I mean, he already killed Snoke, so would he be willing to follow another guy? I think so. He really loves Rey, and I think he will fall for the bait. As for Rey, she might be more inclined to believe Palpatine because she's so desperate for family and to be important. And honestly, Rey rejecting Palpatine would bring the, I think, message of the sequel trilogy full circle, is that family isn't necessarily your blood. You don't have to be important to be important. You don't have to come from important blood or an important bloodline, and that family can be who you choose. And so Rey turning away from blood family and saying, "No, this is my family now," people that aren't genetically related to her, would be, I think, one of the big messages of the sequel trilogy that they've been trying to get through to everyone, which is why I also believe Janna and Finn are siblings, and in the end he's gonna go off with his resistance buddies and say, "Hey, I know you're my sister, but you gotta live your life. I gotta live mine." Don't say that too loud, because people freak out when you say two black characters are related, because nobody in Star Wars is ever related to each other. And if I can throw some tinfoil in here, I'm so sorry. I love tinfoil so much. I wonder if Matt Smith is going to turn out to be a rejuvenated Palpatine. There have been so many will he, won't he be in this film in episode 9, with some saying, "Oh, Matt Smith is a Knight of Ren," and then other people leaking, "Oh, no, he's actually not a Knight of Ren," and then there were other leaks saying, "Oh, Matt Smith is the Knight of Ren that is possessed by Palpatine," and so on and so forth. And then even Lucasfilm had listed Matt Smith in episode 9, and then all of a sudden, they took him off. So it was really weird. Now, with this leak saying that Palpatine does pull off rejuvenating himself, and it involves crazy force lightning that takes down a resistance ship, maybe he rejuvenates into Matt Smith? Like, Matt Smith is what young Palpatine looked like? If that does happen, I wonder if Palpatine is playing off that he wants to become young to help guide Kylo and Rey longer, or lies about how much it will give him, how much extra time. Or maybe he forcefully takes their life force after they go, "Yeah, we don't really trust you." And he goes, "Fine, be that way. Still gonna take you shit." I actually would love for Matt Smith to be the young version of Palpatine, and oh, I know a lot of these leaks make episode 9 sound absolutely crazy, but some of this sounds pretty awesome. Okay, so let me know what you think about these new leaks in the comment section down below. Do you think Palpatine is actually wanting to pass on his technology or new empire to Kylo and Rey? Do you think he actually learned his lesson with Vader and Luke, or do you think it's more likely the recent leaks are telling it as it is, that Palpatine wants to use Kylo and Rey and siphon off their energy and rule a new empire?
Thanks so much for watching. Please like the video and subscribe for more Star Wars videos.